Hello, hello. It is Sunday morning, 8:30 a.m. See the word count's still the same, 58 pages right now. I honestly did not haven't done anything with this since I finished it. Whenever that was, I think the draft was like Thursday, which is funny too because that was like my actual like goal day to finish it. But then I'm being a naughty copywriter and just sort of sat on it for a couple of days. Although it was good too because now I can, kind of digest it a little bit and I'm coming back with fresher eyes. So, what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna read through it and I'm gonna cut and make edits and stuff like that. And gosh, it's like I want to just sort of, I feel like I do it faster if I don't record. But I will record. I'm debating if I want to read through it and make little edits first and then do bigger edits. Maybe at least make notes. Because when you don't want to sit here as I work in silence, probably, right? So I won't make any significant cuts so you can see the word cut or word count until I've talked with you. It's the time. I might read through it and then come back here. So I'm going to do that real quick. All right. So back, you can see it went through. It went down, like 30 words. So I made a few little cleanup things, so nothing major yet. So I had the test in. I made a few notes for myself in places I could cut, but I'm not gonna lie, my biggest dilemma right now is that this is long, but I like it a lot. My daughter's just walking up, hey, hi. Like the cat's in the cradle's playing as I do this. I know, she just loves me so much, but okay. And so, without the FAQs, it's like 11,500 words. I'm trying to think of what can I realistically get away with. Probably like 9,000 without the FAQ. It's probably about as long as I want it. People always ask how long should it be, and the answer is like, oh, however long it takes to sell it. And so on the one hand, I do feel like this would be solid and sell it, but on the other hand, I'm like, this is just fucking long. And I go to my client, and my client's gonna be like, this is super gnarly. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna save as and do a second version. So I'm gonna keep this version because I don't wanna lose it. Edits like that. Okay. Now I haven't read this to you yet in its entirety. So I'm gonna do that now. Okay. So I still got our headline right now is like, I was addicted to carbs, now I've lost 64 pounds, so 20 years younger, how I broke my addiction with the keto diet. Which I still like. You're gonna have to hear my daughter and my wife singing in the background and stuff like that, but that's okay. Okay, so let's just read through it. All right, so my name is Jennifer Goodwin, and the story I'm about to share with you is incredibly painful and personal. In fact, just last year, I never been able to talk about this with you because as recently as last July, I qualified as medically obese according to my doctor. I had more than 50 pounds I needed to lose. My medical charts painted a scary picture of a 53-year-old woman with type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and less than 10 years to live. A woman whose thyroid was completely out of whack, someone who's angry a lot of the time, who suffered from mood swings, who didn't get much sleep, and for being completely honest, a person who is deeply depressed too. I know, it's not a very pretty picture, is it? Yet the reason I'm here sharing it with you is because in the last 6 months, my life has done a complete turnaround. In fact, since I hit rock bottom during my mom's funeral last year, I lost 64 pounds and counting. My medical charts are so clean that my doctor jokes he must be seeing my skinny twin sister, and for the first time since the 1990s, I'm in love with myself from both the inside and the outside. Just last week, I dropped off 4 large bags at Goodwill. Bags are filled with my fat clothes, including all of the oversized jeans, XL blouses, I go XL, XXL blouses, baggy sweatshirts, and even, I don't want to say like even lingerie that I know I'll never wear again. So I changed that. Sorry, I didn't like that line. Now, even though I admit that does feel so good to be telling you all this, the reason I made this video was not to brag. Instead, it's because in the next few minutes, I want to show you exactly how I was able to finally lose such a large amount of weight, plus I was able to keep the weight off almost effortlessly without being sideswiped by gnawing food cravings, without hitting plateaus and stalls, without falling victim to emotional eating when things weren't going my way. I'm also going to be sharing a foolproof system that will let you start burning fat today so you can lose 20 pounds or more in the very next month and reach your in the next month, and reach your ideal body weight in much less time than you probably thought possible. Of course, you're probably wondering, so I'll go ahead and tell you right now. The secret to all my weight loss wasn't some pricey new supplement or exhausting exercise routine. Instead, the reason I was able to lose 17 pounds in 30 days and another 47 pounds in the months that followed is all thanks to the keto diet, and specifically a very unique version of the keto diet, something that was developed by one of the US's top nutritionists. She's based in Florida, and you're going to meet her inside this video. And that's specifically designed. Specifically, it's specifically a very unique version of the keto diet. And that's designed to increase your chances of success with the keto diet by up to 19%, while eliminating all the confusion, frustration, and physical discomfort that going keto can cause so many people. What makes this version of the keto diet so unique is that it harnesses the power of something called craving transference theory. And when you follow the special keto system step by step, which I'll be showing you how to do today, you'll find that it's possible to destroy your junk food and sugar cravings almost immediately, so that you can start enjoying all of the benefits of a high-fat, low-carb keto diet, including the rapid weight loss, the better energy, the increased sharpness, and the awesome nights of sleep, without suffering from the keto flu or being tormented with cravings for sweet, unhealthy snacks or feeling a single pang of hunger. Now, if all this sounds exciting but hard to believe, let me just say that I truly do understand. I've tried every diet imaginable over the last 2 decades. They've always gotten the same results. Some weight loss at first, then a plateau, followed by all the weight flooding back. Plus, even when I first tried the keto diet, I failed miserably and almost ended up in the hospital. All which is to say, I've been where you are today, and I know that while you would love to find a real, easy, and long-term solution for losing weight, you're also scared to get your hopes up. Heck, maybe you don't even know if you have it in you to succeed. So today I'm going to probably cut, but it's okay to feel that way because we've all had those thoughts and self-doubts. Here's the thing, though. As you're going to discover during this video, the reason you failed on every diet you've tried in the past is not because you're weak, and it's not because you don't have strong willpower or even because of genetics. Instead, the root cause of all your weight struggles is that you're addicted to carbs and to sugars, and this addiction, which you might not even realize you have, is why you've never been able to keep the fat off long term. It might surprise you to hear, it might think I'm wrong, and that's fine, but in about 3 minutes from now, I'm going to prove what I'm saying is true by giving you a simple 5-question test created by Kelly Burnell at Yale's Rudd Center for Food Policy and Obesity, something you can do at home as you're watching this video, and that scientists and doctors agree can accurately answer whether your food cravings are keeping you from losing weight. One of the 5 questions is, do you ever feel sluggish or fatigued from overeating? If the answer is yes, then it's vital you keep watching so you can answer the other 4 questions in the test too. Now, we've got a lot to get through, and we don't have all day to do it, so I'm going to go ahead and get started right now by sharing the story of how the tragic death of my mother ultimately helped me to go from obese and on death's door to fit, healthy, and in love with my reflection in the mirror, plus how you can do the exact same thing starting in less than 24 hours from now. So the reason I might actually like this copy, read it out loud, my concern is just obviously that the piece is long, and so what I'm wondering is like, instead of giving away, because it's kind of the mechanism, so talking a little bit about the mechanism, I could just sort of be like, you're also scared to get your hopes up. Heck, maybe you don't even know if you have it in you to succeed. And that's okay if you feel that way because we've all had those thoughts and self-doubts. Here's the thing. I could just say basically the reason you failed on every diet you tried to pass is not because you're weak, but because of food cravings, but because you're probably addicted. I can say because because the food industry has kept you addicted to foods that make you fat. I'm gonna try that for the second version, right? I'll do track changes on this too. But because the food industry and even many doctors have been keeping you addicted to foods that make you fat, and while it might sound hard to believe, inside this video, I'm going to give you a 5-question test that was created by took a little bit of a dent there. Okay. So that was the end of the video. What I might do is go through each section, and then from there, do cuts if I think there's enough. And I'm still going to come back and probably be more ruthless. Now, again, what does help me is the fact that I've got my, like the 7, or I have the long version. Sorry, 7. I don't know where that came from. I have the long version, so I think that helps me a little bit because at least I know it's like, yeah, I've got, I can always come back to that, so I can feel less bad about making ruthless edits. So that was the lead, right? Called out the problem, solution to pain point, promise to save time and money, kind of, with just not expensive keto stuff or, exhausting exercise routines. Emotional discovery story, to use with the mom. I know you think we did this before, but it's kind of a final checklist. Unique mechanism behind the solution. Well, craving transference, and it's a different type of keto. Contrarian nature mechanism. Food industry and doctors are trying to keep you addicted. Fascinations, the 5-question test. Credibility builders. We mentioned the nutritionists. And the Yale thing again, qualifiers. I think it's kind of inherently mentioned with all the what's needed, losing weight, 50 plus pounds, all how you can do the same thing. Definitely addresses skepticism. No testimonials yet. We'll come back to that because I don't have them for this one. So for now, I probably won't put them in, or we'll put in placeholders. Okay. Background story, we're trying to establish who am I, credibility. Credibility won't happen here as much, but who am I? Me or someone like you was in pain, emotional story, traditional solutions, advice not working, a trigger event, search for truth answers, and meets a wise sensei. So we kind of have that here, so we'll look at it, right? So, and it's not necessarily in this exact order because we're actually going to have the traditional solutions and advice not working. Actually, that's not true. Actually, no, this is pretty much how it goes. All right, so like I said, my name is Jennifer Goodwin. I'm 53 years old and live in South Texas. When it comes to my weight, my story is pretty similar to a lot of other women I know. And I could say women and men or folks I know to be less exclusionary, although the market's going to be primarily women here. I was a little chubby in middle school and high school. In my early 20s, I didn't eat a whole lot, and I was at my skinniest. After my oldest was born, I got heavier, but I was able to shake most of the pregnancy weight, which each child that followed, though, it became harder to lose all of the weight. By my early 30s, I had noticeable baggage around my stomach, my butt, my hips, and all those places where fat loves to gather. And by my late 30s and early 40s, the fat was starting to really pile up and making its way to the middle of my back, my feet, my hands, making its way to and even making its way to weird places like the middle of my back, my feet, and my hands, which is when I started to be depressed about my body. And it was around this time that I found out I was pre-diabetic with high blood sugar, poor sleep, and even hormonal problems. Pretty much any woman, and a lot of men too, see there, I got the men back there. Over the course of my life, I've tried tons of diets, from low fat in the 80s to Atkins diet, to the Atkins diet in the 90s. Damn it, I hate when I do that accidentally. Plus different programs like Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, all those usual suspects. And what I found, and I'm sure you can relate to this next part, is that all those different diets played, oh my gosh, my computer's, or I'm bugging out, or my computer's bugging out, but here we go. So all those different diets all played out exactly the same way. I'd start off really motivated, I'd lose some weight, I'd be feeling good about myself, I'd start dreaming about a life where I was happy and healthy, but then at some point, whether it was a few weeks or a few months into whatever diet I was following, it would all come crashing down. I'd end up going on vacation, cheating on my diet at the buffet on a cruise or at a pie shop in Key West, or I'd find that the diet was making me so hungry and irritable that I became a horrible you-know-what. Before I knew it, the diet was over and the weight was pouring back on. So this was the story of my life for decades and decades, and by the time I hit 50, I'd more or less grown to accept that I wasn't going to ever be skinny again. Sure, I'd still try diets out, but in my heart I didn't really believe I'd be able to lose much weight or keep it off. After the sudden death of my mother, however, all of that changed. So this is going to be sort of who I am. So a little bit about the pain, not as emotional yet, but traditional solutions, advice not working, and this is going to be the trigger event that's going to start here. She'd have a heart attack, which the coroner said was at least partially caused by her weight, and the shock and grief of losing my mom, it triggered something in me, something self-destructive and awful that nearly led me to follow my mom into the grave. It's a little hard to talk about this next part, but I'm going to try, because even though what I'm about to share with you is pretty ugly, it's also what ultimately led to the keto discovery I mentioned at the beginning of this video, a discovery that made the keto diet so easy that I was able to lose 17 pounds in a month and 64 pounds in less than 6 months. And it's now worked for thousands of men and women all across the world, which is why I'm so confident it'll work for you too. So what happened? Well, it was the day of my mom's funeral, and I was having a hard time and feeling very emotional. Of course, I knew that would be the case, but what I hadn't anticipated was seeing all of these people from the distant past, family, friends, relatives, other folks I hadn't seen in decades. It made sense that they were there. My mother was a wonderful woman, and a lot of people loved her. At first, I was glad to see them, but as the day continued on, I couldn't help but notice how often all of these folks were making comments about my weight. I'm going to pause for 1 second here because the distant past. See, I think even though it's something that's necessary, I can start working that down a smidge more. That's how often all these folks were making comments about my weight. It was so unexpected. I don't know if they were nervous or trying to lighten the mood or what, but time and time again, I heard things like, "Well, you're certainly eating well, aren't you?" Or the last time I saw you, you were skinny as a twig, but look at you now. And what was even worse was when my Aunt Carol decided it was okay to use my mom's death as a warning to me. She pulled me aside at the funeral and she told me, "Jen, don't take this the wrong way, but your mom was a big woman who struggled with her weight. You're getting awfully big too, and that scares me because I love you. I hope you'll consider trying a diet, sweetheart." It was so inappropriate. I was there to mourn my mother, and while I smiled and nodded and pretended I was listening, inside I was crying. Inside I was dying. I wanted to shut down entirely or scream at everyone or run away. I'd been trying diets all my life. Did they not think I knew that I was overweight, that I wasn't already unhappy with how my reflection looked in the mirror? It should have been a day to celebrate my mother's life, but for me it ended up being a day where I couldn't get out of my own head. And when we gathered at my house after the funeral for refreshments, I was hardly talking. And then there was the chocolate cake. This is probably even more, so I'm kind of doubling up the emotional trigger pain point. My cousin Derek had brought it from my mom's favorite bakery, and it was this huge, beautiful creation covered with fudge swirls and chocolate-dipped strawberries. It looked so good, but of course I knew I couldn't let my family see me eating it after what they'd said. So I just pretended I wasn't hungry and did my best to keep busy and not think too much about it. That night, though, after everyone had left my home and I was alone, I was lying in bed, the tears streaming down both my cheeks, and all I could think about was how good that cake had looked. Nearly half of it was still downstairs in the refrigerator, and even though I told myself I should just go to sleep, that I didn't need it, that I'd be fine without it, my stomach started gnawing, my mouth started salivating, I just had to have a piece of it. And so I crept back downstairs like a guilty thief in the night. I opened the fridge and I told myself I'd just have the tiniest slice. But the moment that chocolatey goodness in my mouth, it was like my brain fired to life. I got this rush of pleasure that's almost impossible to describe. It was so good, and it was exactly what I needed to feel better. Over the course of the next hour, I ate every single piece of that cake. I even got some Breyers vanilla ice cream out of the fridge and started eating a scoop with every slice. I just couldn't help myself. By the time I was finished, I felt disgusting, like I was going to throw up. Yet in the sick way, I also felt happier too. Or at least I wasn't thinking about my mom's death or my relatives' mean comments anymore. When I woke up the next morning, though, I had a terrible headache and my stomach was in knots. I felt so guilty, but even though I knew what I was doing was self-destructive, I also felt so sad, so emotional that all I wanted to do was start eating more sweets, more junk food, more of the stuff I knew I shouldn't, until I could once again feel numb to the pain that was inside of me. So that's exactly what I did. And over the next month, the only way I can describe my behavior is that I went on a bender. I stayed at home with the blinds shut, not answering calls or texts, and I ate, and then ate some more. Cakes, cookies, pies, gummy bears, ice cream, chips, pizza, Coca-Cola. It's like I was trying to eat myself into oblivion. I just couldn't stop. I think this could have kept going on this way if it wasn't for the fact that about a month after my mom's funeral, I got a horrible UTI. I won't go into the details because I don't want to be gross, but let's just say it required a trip to the doctor's office to get checked in for medication. Now, my OBGYN couldn't see me, so I went to our general practitioner, and at first, is that our family doctor, I guess? My general practitioner. And at first, when he said he wanted to draw my blood and run some other tests on me, I just figured it was related to the urinary tract infection I had. After about an hour of waiting, though, I started wondering what the heck was going on. And when I asked the doctor, his response took me completely off guard. "Jen, I'm worried about your health," he said. "I've known you for, 30 years now. I've never seen you look less healthy. And it's important we run some blood tests so we can figure out exactly where we're at with things." Well, if I'm being honest, when he said all of this, I got really mad. I came here for UTI, so why was he trying to turn this into something bigger than that, I thought. Well, I felt steaming mad. I also knew that he was probably right. And so 3 days later, even though I really didn't want to, I drove back to the doctor's office to discuss the results. Now, as you're probably suspecting, the news was not good. In fact, it was dire. My blood work showed that I had very high blood sugar and qualified as a type 2 diabetic. My bad cholesterol was nearly 80 points too high. My blood pressure was so high I had stage 2 hypertension, and the blood test showed that my thyroid was completely dysfunctional, meaning I need to get some kind of medication for that as well. So after he read through everything with me, he kept a pretty even face. Once he finished, he turned and looked me dead in the eyes, and I'll never forget what he said. "Jen, when I read this chart, I see a woman who has less than 10 years to live. I'm not trying to scare you, I'm just being straight with you. Your health is going downhill fast, and if you don't do something drastic, it's going to be bad. Trips to the hospital, tons of medication, a lot of money spent on health insurance and prescriptions. I won't preach because it's up to you. All I can do is hope you'll find it in you, that you'll find some kind of way to lose weight." Talk about a big picture, right? Yeah, when I asked my doctor what I could do to lose weight, he just brought up the usual stuff about diet and exercise, which I mean, sure, but I've been trying different diets for decades, and I got winded just walking for 5 minutes, so I feel like his advice was not all useful or specific. Now, I have an idea. I'm going to get to this next part, but then I'm going to come back because I have an idea. So, Over the next few days, I felt more lost than I'd been in my life. I felt more lost than I'd ever been in my life. Of course, I'd already promised myself that I'd stop eating so many sweets or junk foods, but that was so much easier said than done. I literally craved the foods I couldn't have, and even going 8 hours without chips or a cookie, it felt like torture. Yeah, so I didn't know what I should do. I just bared my mother. I didn't want to be the next one to go. I thought about my 4 children and my beautiful grandchildren, the idea of them at my funeral, saying these things about me through the tears, maybe also feeling anger on the inside, resentment that I couldn't turn my life around. It made me so sad. I didn't want that for my family, yet I also didn't see how any diet would be able to save me. Now, this is where the story would have ended if I hadn't been for a fateful phone call with my friend Kim. I've known Kim since we were sophomores in high school, and while we've grown less close over the years, we still try to talk a few times a year. A few weeks after my last after that doctor visit, Kim gave me a call. She was checking on me to see how I was going with my mom, and while at first I tried to pretend everything was okay, it wasn't long before I was crying through the phone, telling Kim my weight problems, what the doctor had said, how I was afraid I'd be the next to die. Well, bless Kim's heart, because she didn't hurt me once as I spilled out my guts. And when I was finished and tears had started to run dry, I told her I was so sorry for really unloading, like that. Nah, keep that. Kim said it was okay, of course, she understood. But then she said something that really surprised me. Jen, she said, I think you're addicted to sugar and carbs. I laughed when she said this, but there was no laughter on the other end of the line. I'm serious, Kim said. I've been an addiction counselor for over 3 decades now, and what you're saying, you're describing an addiction. I think you should look into sugar addiction more. It's a real thing, and it's more common than you think. I read recently as many as 70% of Americans are addicted to junk food. See for yourself. I didn't really know how to respond to Kim, so I just told her that I'd do some research and we got off the phone. It was a weird conversation because I did not think of myself as an addict. People are addicted to drugs, sure. Maybe some morbidly obese people are addicted to food, but not me. Sure, I had a bad month after my mom died, but that wasn't an addiction, was it? So I couldn't get what Kim had said out of my mind, so I started doing some research on sugar addiction on the internet, and I was blown away by what I found out. Okay, so that's going through. This is going to be a unique mechanism right here. So I want to see how many words we're at. Over here to here real quick. $3,400 words. So in theory, this actually wouldn't be so bad, right? I think the big problem for me, from a length perspective, is that because like in a supplement offer, right, which I do a lot, you'd learn the mechanism and you learn about ingredients that help, and then you'd test the product and tell you the product. Like I would need, because the problem is like really not a problem, but I mean like I take a couple thousand words describing the info product, and that takes a lot of time. And I mean I could cut out some of that, but I think that's important because we gotta get them to buy it. So as it stands, it sucks because I really like all of this copy. I'd sneeze. See, what I could do, I could change this to be like, I could be like, I understood my doctor was saying, but I tried exercise, I tried losing weight, it hadn't worked. And maybe then my doctor said, I don't know if you know this, my background is in clinical addiction research, and to be honest with you, it kind of sounds like you're addicted to food, especially like sugar, and so I think you should look into that. Maybe that'll help. I don't get that whole thing with Kim and the crying, but I think we're gonna try that. So you find some way to lose weight, whether it's through diet, exercise, or both. You and my doctor was right, but as I told him, best. But as I told him, go ahead and do this, maybe do the okay. So we do that, right? Cut all of this. Just told him. Left my office, and left his office. So, I mean, I got down more to 11,500 words. So I couldn't get my doctor to set my mind, so I started doing some research on sugar addiction on the internet, and I was blown away by what I found. Turns out it's pretty universally accepted by scientists and doctors. Turns out it's pretty universally accepted by health experts that sugar addiction is a real thing. Okay, so now we're getting to the mechanism of the problem. Harvard University talks about it a lot. So does the Cleveland Clinic and Psychology Today. What really drove home the reality of sugar addiction for me, though, was a study I saw done by David Ludwig and his colleagues at Harvard University. In this study, the Harvard researchers took 12 overweight people and gave them a low-sugar milkshake. Then 4 hours later, they measured the activity of the brain region that controls addiction, which is called the nucleus accumbens. Then, a few days later, the researchers at Harvard had the subjects come back for another milkshake, but this time the milkshake was designed to be high in sugar. Now, you should know that both milkshakes tasted exactly the same, and they are nutritionally identical except for the sugar. Also, the people in the study had no idea which milkshake was high in sugar and which was low in sugar. Yet, when the Harvard scientists scanned the subjects' brains after each milkshake, they found that while the low-sugar milkshake didn't show anything unusual, when the study participants drank the high-sugar milkshake, their nucleus accumbens, the part of the brain responsible for addiction, lit up like a Christmas tree. Just check out this image. The brain scan on the left shows what people's brains looked like after a high-sugar milkshake, while the one on the right shows what their brains looked like when they had the low-sugar milkshake. Isn't that crazy? Normally, you only see the nucleus accumbens look like this when they do let's see the brain look like this when they do scans of cocaine addicts, heroin addicts, or alcoholics. But in this case, it was happening just because of sugar. And if that were enough, the Harvard scientists were also disturbed to discover that within 4 hours of having the high sugar milkshake, every one of the participants in the study was hungry and craving more sugar. The study surprised me because while I heard sugar was addictive before, I didn't realize it was actually addictive in the same way cocaine and other drugs could be. Yet the more I researched, the more evidence I found that this was the case. Dr. Nora Volkow, MD, with the National Institute of Drug Abuse, did another study with brain scans, and these scans also showed that the nucleus accumbens to the brain's addiction center was sent haywire by sugar. Nicole Avena, PhD at Princeton University, had made rats become sugar dependent in the same way they'd be cocaine dependent. And Dr. Eric Seiss, a neuroscientist at the Oregon Research Institute, found that people develop a sugar tolerance, meaning they need more sugar to feel the same effect. As I saw all this, I felt like the room was spinning. Again, I just never thought of sugar this way before, but now I was starting to think of it like heroin. I mean, it's no secret that sugar is everywhere. In the words of Dr. Mark Hyman, who's a pretty famous and well-known doctor here in the U.S., what if Kobe Bryant and LeBron James went on national television promoting the benefits of cocaine water to increase sports performance? Would you allow heroin dispensers in your kid's school? Think heroin lollipops or morphine muffins is exactly what's happening in America today. Pretty crazy, right? And Dr. Hyman goes on to say that sugar has been shown to be 8x more addictive than cocaine. Now, I could go on and on with the research about sugar, but instead, why don't we just do a little experiment? This is something I want you to actually participate in too, so get ready. Okay, ready? Take a look at the following picture. These are French green beans, and I want to know how they make you feel. Maybe you're thinking, oh yeah, those don't look bad, or I should eat more vegetables. Or the picture reminds you feel guilty because you don't eat enough vegetables. The point is, you probably see this picture and think, you probably don't get too excited by this picture. The point is, you probably don't get too excited by this picture, right? But, yeah. Now you look at this next picture. Really look at it. How does it make you feel? Here's all the people I've talked to describe their response to this picture. My mouth starts to water. There's noticeably more saliva. I also start shaking my leg and my eyes start moving faster and darting around. I begin to imagine taking a giant glob of these gummy bears and stuffing them in my mouth. The sweetness, the fruitiness, the chewy goodness, it gets me physically excited talking to you about it. Maybe you don't love gummy candies, so let's look at this slice of cake. Or at least die for cookies. What's your reaction? I feel like most folks, you have a totally different reaction to the photos of sweets than to the green beans, right? And I know you're wondering, and the answer is no, I'm not trying to torture you or make you hungry. I'm trying to make a point, which is that sugar is incredibly addictive. But it also makes you fat too. It's probably surprised you to hear, but let me quickly explain why sugar makes you fat. And this is super important because it's going to tie into the keto breakthrough I'll be sharing in just a few moments. You see, according to Dr. Juan Gallegos of the University of Utah, when you eat foods that are high in sugar, the sugar enters your bloodstream. Once that happens, your pancreas senses that you have high blood sugar and releases something called insulin, which is a hormone responsible for regulating blood sugar. Now, insulin's job is to take sugar out of your bloodstream and send it to the cells in your liver, muscles, and other vital organs, so those organs can, so your cells can use the sugar for energy. The problem is when you have a lot of sugar in your body, most of it can't be used for energy, there's too much. So your body has to store it somewhere so it can be safe for later. Well, guess where it gets stored? That's right, it gets stored in your fat cells, and the more sugar you eat, the more fat cells are created. And they gather in all the places you'd expect, your butt, your thighs, your hips, plus some of the fat also collects in places like your liver, which is why there's such a thing as fatty liver disease. Okay, so at this point you might be thinking, sure, I get that sugar is addictive, but I don't eat too much sugar, and I still struggle with my weight, so my problem is something else. I get what you're saying, but here's the thing. Carbohydrates and sugars are one and the same thing. Did you realize that? I always thought of carbs and sugar as being separate, but according to Harvard University, carbs are, by definition, sugar. There are simple sugars, there are simple carbs, which are made up of simple sugars, and then there are complex carbs, which are made up of a variety of sugars. But no matter if we're talking about simple carbs or complex carbs, once you eat those carbs, your body goes to work breaking them back down to simple sugars, and then guess what happens? Your pancreas produces insulin, the insulin sends some of the sugar to your cells, but because there's so much sugar in there from the carbs you just ate, your body's forced to store most of the sugar as fat. So think about what this means. You already know that sugar is addictive and makes you fat, and now you realize that carbohydrates are made of sugar, so you can understand So it's easy to understand why carbs are addictive and make you fat too. This is why low-carb diets, including the keto diet, which we've been talking about, which we're going to talk about in a moment, have become so popular over the years. They're all about eliminating carbs and sugars that keep you addicted and fat. Plus, once you understand just how addictive carbs and sugars are, it also starts to make sense why no diets are working in the past. I mean, think about it. Low-fat diets are always high in carbohydrates, which means they tell you to eat more foods that cause hunger cravings and make you fat again. The Atkins diet does work at the beginning, but then the diet tells you to start reintroducing carbs back into your diet until you start gaining weight. If carbs weren't so addictive, that would be fine. But really, going on the Atkins diet is essentially like telling a former heroin addict following the Atkins diet, essentially like telling a former heroin addict to start doing a little heroin at a time, then stop once they get addicted again. And now you can understand why restricting calories is never going to work, because you're basically telling your body, instead of a lot of heroin, just have a little heroin each day. Yet addicts, I think we can probably just cut that. Sorry. Plus now you can see why Weight Watchers, Giant Craig, Nutrition System, and all those other programs are such a waste of money. They're about fewer calories or less fat, but they don't target your hidden carb addiction at all, which is why you're destined to fail with them. So considering that all these diets don't work, the question becomes, is there an option out there that will help me break free from my carb and sugar addiction so I can kill my cravings, reclaim my health, and finally lose all my extra weight for good? That's the question I was asking myself as well. It did seem like there was a pretty obvious choice, which was the keto diet. So now we're getting into the mechanism of the solution, right, on the keto diet. What I'm going to do, it's a little part, but I think I can probably, if I cut out this part here. Helps a little bit. So I'm going to find out more stuff to cut, but for now, we'll stick with that. Okay. Now, you're probably familiar with the keto diet already. You've seen how many celebrities swear by it, and you know that it's helped millions of everyday folks lose impossible amounts of weight in a very short amount of time. So here's why the keto diet is so effective is that when you go keto, you're switching your body's energy source from carbohydrates, which your body breaks down to addictive sugars that leave you feeling hungry, tired, and irritable, to healthy fats, which are broken down to something called ketones, a clean energy source that leaves you feeling full, energized, and clear-headed. The difference between sugars and ketones is like the difference between snorting cocaine or sipping green tea. Sure, both will give you some immediate energy, but the cocaine will leave you craving more, making you feel angry if you don't get another fix, disrupting, craving more, making you, I'm going to do it like this, making you feel angry if you don't get another fix, disrupting your sleep, and causing long-term damage to your body. While the green tea will give you a nice little boost of energy, focus, and calm without any cravings, without leading to more cravings. No one would say that cocaine is healthier than green tea, so it's kind of crazy that some mainstream doctors will still try and promote a low-fat diet over a keto diet, especially when keto has been scientifically proven to have so many health benefits. And then we've got the proof here. One major study of 120 overweight adults found that after 6 weeks on the keto diet, the average weight loss was 20.7 pounds. Another major study found that over 8 weeks, obese patients lost an average of 33 pounds on the keto diet. And in yet another study, this one including 83 obese patients, 39 men, 44 women, it was reported that the weight and body mass of patients decreased significantly, good cholesterol significantly increased, low bad cholesterol significantly decreased, and low blood glucose significantly decreased. Leading the researchers say that the present study shows that the beneficial effects of a long-term ketogenic diet is significantly reduce the body weight and body mass index of the patients. Then there's what keto does for type 2 diabetes. A randomized study published in the Journal of Nutrition and Metabolism enrolled 84 obese adults with type 2 diabetes, put half of them on a low-carb keto diet and the other half on a low-calorie diet that wasn't low-carb. The result, the keto group had 3x lower A1C after 24 weeks. They also lost significantly more weight than the low-calorie group, 9 pounds more on average, and saw a significant improvement in good cholesterol, while the keto group saw 0 improvement. Plus, diabetes medications were reduced or eliminated in 95.2% of the keto group, but not the low-fat group. Now, I could keep sharing amazing studies. Hey, Eden. Oh. About keto with you for hours. Hi. But suffice it to say, keto diet has been shown to improve virtually every aspect of human health, including rapid weight loss, to help with rapid weight. Hi, Eden. It breaks my heart, but it's all day with my dog yesterday. With rapid weight loss and burning of fat, lowering bad cholesterol, lowering blood pressure, improving sleep, reversing insulin resistance, reversing unhealthy inflammation, reducing or eliminating junk food cravings, significantly improving heart health, and so much more. It's pretty remarkable. And as I poured through all the research for the keto diet, it all made so much sense why it worked. Because again, it's proven that carbs and sugars are addictive to make you fat, while it's also proven that eating healthy fats and less carbs make you burn fat and feel more energized. So I was really excited to start trying the keto diet for myself. It was the first time in years that I really let myself believe that maybe I could lose weight for the long term. I was motivated, I was ready to rock, and then I was so very filled with disappointment. I was so very disappointed. You see, when I first started the keto diet, it seemed to be going great. I actually did lose 6 pounds in my first 9 days. Mentally, it felt really good. I felt really good because I kept seeing the numbers on my scale go down. What I quickly found out, though, was that the traditional keto diet has some big problems, too. For one thing, it's very confusing. You're told to eat about 65% fat, 50% carbs, 20% proteins. Actually keeping track of all this is exhausting. You basically need to journal everything that you eat and do math all the time. Plus, as I found out, a lot of foods I thought were safe turned out to be filled with hidden sugars and carbs, like tomato sauce, yogurt, salad dressing, canned soup, fruit smoothies, even coleslaw, which meant I was having constant anxiety every time I ate. Then, even though I thought I was doing everything right, the scale stopped going down. I hit a plateau for weeks that I just couldn't break through, and I was feeling bloated all the time and terribly constipated. Then there were the cravings. Way too often I found myself crying like an alcoholic because I was missing cake, sweets, breads, and sugars. I would have killed for just one piece of cake. I would kill for just one piece of cake, and I started getting moody and angry again to the point where people would comment that I was really unpleasant to be around. I started visiting the most popular keto forums to ask for help. Most people said stuff like, stick with it, or that's just a keto flu, which is nice of them and all, but not that helpful, especially because the keto flu might as well be called the heroin withdrawal flu, because while I've never done drugs like heroin, the carb withdrawal symptoms I was experiencing were so brutal, so painful, I was literally shaky, nauseous, and weak, and it lasted for weeks to the point where I was ready to go to the hospital. I was so disappointed. It seemed like this was just another X on the long list of diet fails I'd experienced, and I couldn't understand what I was doing wrong. I even wondered if maybe my body just wasn't genetically equipped to handle going keto or something. I didn't know, so I went back to online forums to ask for help, and while most of the replies I got were well-intentioned but unhelpful, there was one that did stick out. So this is kind of, okay, well, I'm going to read it. It's from a user named Vicky59. She was a middle-aged woman just like me, and she told me she had the exact same problems I've had until she started following a system by a nutritionist named Danielle Moore. Well, I messaged Vicky59 privately and asked her for more information, and thank God Vicky59 replied back right away and gave me a link to a website that was all about Danielle and her work. When I went to the website, I saw that Danielle Moore holds a master's in nutrition from Georgia State University and did her graduate work in biochemistry at Florida State University, and she's been a health and diet counselor since 2013, where she's worked with clients to help them succeed on the keto diet. I was impressed to see that Danielle was also featured on CBS and numerous health and nutrition blogs across the web, and that she's been consistently recognized by her peers as one of the top nutrition experts in the United States. After reading a little more about Danielle, it quickly became clear why Vicky59 from the Keto Forum told me about her. You see, I found that Danielle did hard work developing a specialized version of the keto diet, one that takes into account our carb and sugar addictions, then gives you a simple, easy-to-follow roadmap, including specific meal plans, food lists, and even breakdowns of keto-friendly meals at popular restaurants, so you can quickly transition to the keto diet, start burning fat in just a few short days, without suffering from cravings, hunger pains, or sugar withdrawal. In other words, Danielle realized that there are 3 major reasons why most people fail on the keto diet. The first is that they cut out their carbs too fast, and this puts their body into shock and withdrawal. The second is that the keto diet can be incredibly confusing, and many people accidentally mess up and fall off ketosis or give up in frustration. And the third is that too many of the keto forms and guides are unrealistic and don't account for real-world situations like vacations or eating at restaurants. So Danielle set out to solve all 3 problems at once by partnering with a group of nutrition experts at a company called Keto Essentials. Together, they created a 3-step system that shows you how to get into ketosis without the withdrawal symptoms, how to stay in ketosis for the long run so that you keep burning fat month after month, and how to stay. I can tell you very honestly that once I started using the system, it was like my whole world changed. Not only did I lose 17 pounds in my first 30 days, but I didn't suffer from a single craving or feel moody or tired or low energy at all, which was an absolute first. What was even better than the immediate weight loss, though, was that because it was so easy to continue following the keto system that Danielle and Keto Essentials had created, I kept losing more weight every month. In fact, I'm down 64 pounds, and I still haven't stopped losing weight. Plus, what I think is the most impressive part is that for the first time in my life, I can be around sweets, ice cream, brownies, chocolate-covered raisins, whatever it is, yet I have literally zero desire to eat them. I'm telling you, my body is now so in love with eating delicious, savory, high-fat meals that the idea of eating sugar and high-carb foods is pretty much the same as eating cardboard. I'm not interested at all. And of course, I'm not the only one. I've now spoken with thousands of women who have used this keto system from Danielle and Keto Essentials. And time again, I hear how they've lost 14 pounds in 3 weeks, 33 pounds in 2 months, just countless success stories of people who are now wearing clothes they first bought in the 90s, who are enjoying little things like being able to sit comfortably in an airplane seat or at the booth of a restaurant or to go on amusement park rides with their kids. It's all just so inspiring. And right now, I want to invite you to join me and the thousands of folks just like me who use Danielle and Keto, who use Danielle's simple but brilliant system to get into fat burning ketosis fast, to stay in fat burning ketosis for the long run. I love every minute as it did. It's called the 1-2-3 Keto System by Keto Essentials. Now, I'm just gonna keep the thing running, but I have my heater on. I'm gonna turn off the quick. It's again a little hot here. All right, so back. So I wonder what the word count is up to here, actually. I could just go up to the top and clicked it, shift, but whatever. So it's already pretty long. If I had the thing is I could have 500 words about the product and then the close, and it'll be 9,000 words. But kind of all the stuff about the product in there. So again, challenge for me. So I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with this. I assume I could cut out the stuff about Vicky. So I went back to the online forums to ask for help. And that's when I was first. Most surprised I got more just more helpful. There was one that to stick out from a user named Vicky59 who was telling me to. I mean, it's not that much. It's a little bit of copy. I'm going to look into. He said to look into the work of Danielle Moore. Why? So I started researching about Danielle. So headshot of Danielle. Alright, I'm gonna use the bathroom and pause this and then come back. Alright, so now I've got this stuff here, right? So we're into the product. Product is born. So this is the close. The problem, again, my issue is that I've got so much, there's a lot of copy about the product, which makes sense because info product, so, you know, but there's a lot here. Now, so the question becomes, do I cut stuff about the product or not? So let's read it and go from there, okay? All right, so it's called the 1-2-3 Keto System by Keto Essentials, and I'll go and explain exactly how it works right now so you can see for yourself just how revolutionary it is. Now, as the name would suggest, the 1-2-3 Keto System is broken up into 3 steps, which are Step 1, entering ketosis fast, Step 2, staying in ketosis long term, Step 3, thriving in ketosis forever. And each step serves as a very distinctive but important. Each step serves a very distinctive but important purpose. Important purpose. The first part is Step 1, enter ketosis fast. Entering ketosis fast. Step 1, 1-2-3 keto system lasts for 7 days, and the goal is to quickly get you into a state of fat-burning ketosis while avoiding sugar and carb withdrawal. This part is key because what Danielle Moore and other nutritionists have found is that one of the main reasons so many people fail on the keto diet is that they try to cut out too many carbs and sugars too fast, which puts their bodies into shock, much in the same way that an alcoholic goes into shock if they quit cold turkey. Remember, Dr. Mark Hyman and Harvard University both estimate that 70% of the population is addicted to carbs and sugars. I can still cut that part. Make a note in case I cut. Sorry, real quick. Insert note on this if I cut above stuff. If you've taken that test from Kelly Brownell, and you've taken that test from Kelly Brownell from Yale now, which likely showed that you're addicted to. So rather than plunge you into shock, Step 1 of the 1-2-3 Keto System helps you smoothly transition into the keto diet by providing a specifically designed 7-day meal plan called the Fail-Proof Keto Quick Start Guide. With each day of the Fail-Proof Keto Quick Start Guide, you'll eat slightly less carbohydrates and slightly more fat and proteins. It looks like this. Day 1, 60 grams of carbs, 50 grams, 45, 40, 35, 25, 20. See the amount of carbs slowly get smaller and smaller. This is done very strategically so that you're getting closer and closer to ketosis each and every day. Now I want to make something very clear. Studies have shown that you can enter a state of ketosis even at 50 grams of carbohydrates. And if you don't go into ketosis in the first 2 or 3 days of Step 1, I can promise you that by following the Fail-Proof Keto Quick Start Guide, you're still going to start losing a ton of weight really fast, even in the first 24 hours. Think about it. Right now, you're probably eating well over 100 grams of carbohydrates a day, possibly even over 150 grams. So when you cut that number by half or even 2/3, it means there's way less sugar in your bloodstream, and since your body doesn't have as much sugar to use as energy, it will start getting energy from your fat stores, which means you start burning fat right away. Pretty cool, right? And I should also say that if you're worried that the Fail-Proof Keto Quick Start Guide is going to require you to count your carbs and other macros, I've got good news for you. Each day of week one comes already mapped out for you. You get 21 delicious meals that you can make in less than 15 minutes of cook time, 7 breakfasts, 7 lunches, 7 dinners, plus there are 14 snacks and 7 different desserts included too. Of the Danielle Keto Essentials did this because it makes each day a no-brainer. And in case you're wondering if you'll enjoy eating the meals listed in the Fail-Proof Keto Quick Start Guide, just take a look at some of these yummy options. Example breakfast options, example lunch options, example dinner options. So make your mouth water, right? Now, this brings us to Step 2 of the 1-2-3 Keto System, staying in ketosis for the long term. By the time you finish the first step of the 1-2-3 Keto System, you'll almost certainly have entered ketosis. Remember, a state of ketosis is when your body's using fat for energy instead of carbohydrates, and not only do you start losing a lot of stubborn body fat during this phase, you'll also notice your blood sugar levels normalizing, your cholesterol improving, that your energy and sleep are better, and a lot of other really cool stuff. Of course, that's all provided you stay in ketosis, and Step 2 of the 1-2-3 Keto System is designed to ensure us exactly what happens. Here's how. Step 2 goes from day 7 to day 37 of your keto journey. Kind of like bold that or something. And during this 4-week period, you get something called the 30-day Keto Success Plan. The 30-day Keto Success Plan gives you a full month of keto-friendly meals, all mapped out for you. What makes it so special is that it was designed using something called craving transference theory. It sounds fancy, but it's actually pretty simple. Craving transference theory is the idea that the best thing to do when you're craving something bad is to replace it with something good, but that this only works when the good When the good thing is something you actually want, that way making a good decision becomes easy and feels like a reward. Pretty simple, right? Now let me show you exactly how it works in practice. Remember earlier we looked at a picture of French green beans followed by pictures of sweets? In that case, your brain automatically picked the sweets, not the vegetables, right? Well, we're going to do the same exercise again right now, but this time we're going to switch to health food and you're going to be shocked by what happens. Take a look at this brownie. Looks pretty good, right? It's fine, you can totally admit it. But now go ahead and take a look at these next few items. No bake chocolate cheesecake, delicious chocolate coconut bars, sex in the pan pie. All right, now freeze for just a second. What are you thinking about? For like 90% of people, your brain and stomach had the same reaction to all 4 pictures. What's so cool is that while the brownie obviously isn't keto friendly, those 3 other desserts are. That's the power of craving transference theory. Basically tricks your brain into thinking you're being naughty, even though you're still actually being nice by avoiding sugars and carbs. Now, it doesn't just work for desserts. Look at this picture of a slice of pizza. Look at the following: Philly cheesesteak wrap, blackened shrimp with fresh guacamole, easy Swedish meatballs and savory sauce. Well, same thing in here. The pizza's not keto friendly, but the other 3 dishes are. You have the same reaction to all of them. Now, I'm sure you're starting to see what this means, right? You absolutely can't kick your carb cravings and stay in fat-burning ketosis for the long run without falling off the wagon. In fact, it's going to be easy. You're still going to eat delicious meals that are included in the 30-day keto success plan, and your brain won't even know the difference between your new way of eating and your old. Your body will feel so much better, and you'll be dropping so much weight so fast you'll be falling in love with yourself all over again. So here are specifics on exactly what you get with the 30-day keto success plan. Each day includes breakfast, lunch, dinner, 2 yummy snacks, and 2 yummy snacks and the dessert option and dessert options and the dessert and dessert. And these meals were each hand selected. And each of these menu items was hand selected by Danielle to make keto essentials using the craving transference theory I just shared with you. Plus, just like in step 1, each meal takes 15 minutes to cook down or less. There's no counting macros or worrying about what you can or can't eat. And each meal uses simple, affordable, and highly nutritious ingredients that taste great too. Another thing I love, I think I don't even need this part here. Okay, let me say it. But another thing I love about the 30-day keto success plan is on single meals repeated for the entire 30 days. I think this is huge because all the variety means you'll never get bored or be stuck prepping a meal you don't want to eat, which kills motivation. Now here's just a few more examples of the 2 die for menu options you'll get in 30-day keto success plan. And I can tell you from experience, every single recipe tastes insanely good. The 30-day keto success plan also comes with a simple 7-step guide for how to create your own customized keto meal plans, plus a simple checklist you can use at the grocery store to avoid hidden sugar and carbs in the foods you buy. And each recipe comes with easy to follow, easy, simple to follow steps that anyone can follow. Simple comes with simple, easy to follow steps that anyone can do, even if you're a terrible cook. Okay, now we're getting to phase 3. But I think here I'm guessing I could take this stuff out, right? Cut down a little bit more. This brings us to step 3 of the 1, 2, 3 keto system, thriving ketosis forever. Once you complete the first 2 steps of the 1, 2, 3 keto system, you'll be in ketosis for over a month. There's a good chance you'll have already lost 15 to 20 pounds, 15 pounds, 20 pounds or even more. You'll likely be experiencing increased energy, fewer food cravings, and a better mood too. This is exactly how it was for me, and I was so happy I want nothing more than to keep my positive momentum going in months 2, 3, and beyond. I'm sure you're going to be the same way. While it's going to feel like things are going awesome, I need to warn you, you're actually entering the keto danger zone. And what I mean is, while it's easy to stay in ketosis when you're cooking every meal at home, as more and more time goes by, real life is going to come knocking at your door, and you're going to want to eat out with your friends and family, or you're going to need to travel somewhere for work or go on a vacation. So what you need here is to be armed. So you need to be armed. Oops, I don't know what the heck that was. So you need to be armed. You need to be ready and all the real life situations that you're going to run into. Ready needs to be all caps. You need to be ready so that you don't hit this, so that they don't hit you like a freight train to realize any of the progress you've made. So find step 3 of the 1, 2, 3 keto system. And you on the team at Keto Essentials will create a powerful tool for you that's called Staying Keto on the Go. So I wonder if I can cut some of this stuff. What makes staying keto on the go so special? Inside, data and experts at Keto Essentials have combed through the menus of more than 100 of the most popular restaurants on the road and identified keto-friendly options for all of them. For example, we will get a list of keto-friendly options for Applebee's, McDonald's, TGI Fridays, Chick-fil-A, Red Lobster, Macaroni Grill, Yard House, Panda Express, and more than 90 additional restaurants. Plus, the Keto Essentials team has even gone a step further and created a quick cheat sheet that you can use to modify dozens of popular restaurant items so that they're keto-friendly. This cheat sheet is super useful, by the way, because even if you frequently go to a restaurant that's not included on the list, or you live or travel somewhere with different restaurants, you'll still know exactly how to order a keto-friendly meal at the menu. And on top of that, instead of staying keto on the go, the team, I guess the keto. I think there shouldn't be a hyphen for the rest of staying keto. Yeah, I don't know what. So keto on the go. The team also lists more than 50 plus keto-friendly snacks you can eat while you're on the run, which means now it doesn't matter whether you're at the movies, stadiums, convenience stores, or pretty much anywhere else where they sell food, you can still satisfy your cravings without falling out with keto. Now, in addition to the Foolproof Keto Quick Start Guide, 30-Day Keto Success Plan, and Staying Keto on the Go, 1, 2, 3 Keto System also comes with more than a dozen additional powerful tools, including 5 simple ways to tell if you're in ketosis. These are powerful but accurate DIY tests you can do from anywhere for free without having to test your breath, blood, or urine. 100 delicious bonus keto recipes that you can make under 15 minutes. Simply sub these into the 30-Day Keto Success Plan. You've got months of keto-friendly, hassle-free meals. Intermittent fasting demystified. Intermittent fasting is completely optional in the 1, 2, 3 Keto System, but because I know so many people enjoy IF, we've created, but because so many people Keto Essentials create a special guide that covers 6 intermittent fasting options that helps you figure out which one fits for your goals and lifestyles. Plus, one easy rule that allows you to spot hidden sugar in foods, even if you don't have access to the label. How to silence your hunger hormones and eliminate unhealthy and insatiable cravings for good. 6 proven strategies for living the keto lifestyle you want no one else your family is, and so much more. Okay, so that's into the product section. So I really like those images. All right, for now. I mean, one thing I wonder about is like keeping along and putting the button earlier and seeing if that helps. Because if you did the button like when the product is first introduced, then I mean, in theory, it's probably, let's see real quick what this would be. Because usually I don't like doing it until you've gone through everything and told them the pricing. And so that's my one challenge here. Now, so I'm going to do it a little less lazy way. I'm just going to control copy, and then I'm going to go to File, new window, script timer. I use the script timer, it's pretty great. So we did it that way. The button would show at 36 minutes. Which isn't the worst. The problem is just, again, you know, they haven't shown the close yet. If we do that, I mean, we haven't gotten to the close. I'm making myself a note here, so 36 minutes. Okay. Well, let's think about that. Okay, so I'll go here. All right. So here's starting like on the, the way the outline, I have the product details, right? So, I put that in the close. It could almost be some of those sections, product. It depends. For supplements, you do so much pre-selling of the supplement in this part that's why a lot of times put on the close, because then it's like, turmeric made in America or from organic Indian farms or whatever it is. In India, I mean like India, not, indigenous Native Americans or whatever. But okay. So now that you've gotten a peek behind the curtain and found out exactly what's inside the 1-2-3 Keto system by Keto Essentials, I'm confident you can see what makes this system so special and so unique. There are tons of keto books, guides, and products out there, but none of them are specifically designed to make the transition into ketosis so smooth and so easy so that you start burning fat and losing weight on your very first day while also avoiding those horrible carb and sugar withdrawals that can make the keto diet feel like torture. No other keto guidebook forum or group out there is even talking about craving transference therapy, and they certainly haven't designed an easy to follow 30-day meal plan on this vital concept, which is such a shame because it makes it so darn easy to stay in ketosis and keep dropping pounds month after month. I know from personal experience, but it's not just me. The 1-2-3 Keto system has now worked for thousands of folks just like me and you, helping them drop 20, 40, and even 60 pounds of stubborn body fat while reversing their insulin sensitivity and type 2 diabetes, lowering their bad cholesterol, dropping their high blood pressure, improving their thyroid and hormonal health, and so much more. So where I put some testimonials, we're going to have them. The system just flat out works. It takes a keto diet that you've heard so much about, but it makes it easier and better by making keto simple to understand and easy to do instead of confusing and frustrating, which is how you can feel without the 1-2-3 Keto system. Just imagine that 30 days from today, and you've been losing pounds every single day, and now not only are you several pounds lighter, but you're also sleeping better throughout the night, feeling more energized throughout the day, and not suffering from terrible mood swings either. Picture what it will feel like 60 days from now as you're taking yet another bag of your fat clothes to the local thrift store, as you drop them off without even a second thought, because that negative voice in your head, the one that always doubts you can really be the sexiest version of yourself, is finally gone. I'm telling you, it feels so good. There's nothing better than hearing your doctor say that you're no longer diabetic, or going from a size 22 to a size 12 in a matter of a few short months, or walking into some trendy store you've always been afraid to visit and feeling utterly confident that you belong and you can pick out and buy any single outfit you want. These are all the things that are possible when you succeed on the keto diet, and this is exactly what the 1-2-3 Keto system will help you to do. When you just follow the easy steps that are laid out inside this beautiful system, you start burning fat on day one, you get into ketosis with lightning speed. I wonder, I could probably cut this out. I'm sorry, I know I'm supposed to read it first. I think we've already covered this enough here. So that's going to help a little bit. Okay. And considering all of this, you can probably understand why so many other health experts have recommended that Danielle and Keto Essentials charge $197 for access to the 1-2-3 Keto system. Might sound like a lot, but think about it. A year's membership to the gym costs about $348. A year of personal training costs around $1,200. Programs like Jenny Craig cost an average of $8,976 per year. Even Weight Watchers cost close to $350 annually. Every one of those things I just listed will take about a ton of your time. Most of them won't even get you the results you're looking for, especially Jenny Craig and Weight Watchers, because they both keep you addicted to fattening carbs and sugars and carbs the whole time. So all those other options, they're the hard way or even the impossible way. And knowing what you know now, I can't understand why you'd possibly even think about going one of those routes, especially when using the 1-2-3 Keto system. It's so easy and automatic. Plus, as I mentioned, all the things that can't be measured in money, like the pride and sense of security that comes from knowing that you're going to be there for your spouse, your children, and even your grandchildren for the next 20, 30, 40 years and beyond. It's really no exaggeration to say that when you get your weight under control, I feel like almost every aspect of your life improves. You have more fun on vacations, you have a better sex drive, you're more confident working in social settings. And if we're being honest, when people are constantly coming up to you and telling you that you look slimmer, younger, and healthier, when every morning starts with you standing on the scale, smiling to yourself because you're down another 2, 3, or even 5 pounds, well, it's a whole lot of fun. So yes, when you consider all these things, $197 really does feel like a steal for the 1-2-3 Keto system. And a lot of people have actually told the Keto Essentials team they should be charging a lot more. They should be charging a lot more. Yeah, here's the thing, this isn't about money. Okay, so I'm gonna come back to this, but I do wonder here, I feel like this is what money can't buy. I already kind of dimensionalized it up above, and so I feel like I can kind of cut this, got that. So when you consider all these things, so I'm probably 10,400 words now for the sales letter, which is still long, but hey, we're making progress. $197 really does feel like a steal for the 1-2-3 keto system. A lot of people have actually told me the Keto Essentials team, a lot of people actually told the Keto Essentials teams that they should be charging a lot more. Here's the thing, this isn't about money. I've seen firsthand just how nasty an addiction to carbs and sugar can be. Now, doing keto the right way can help you break free from that addiction so that you not only start burning fat on day one, but keep losing weight for the years to come as well. I truly believe that my mom had known about something like the 1-2-3 keto system. She'd still be here today. And I know that if me, Danielle, and the team at Keto Essentials get this program in the hands of as many folks as possible, we can save countless lives. So that's why right now on this website, you won't be asked to pay $197 for the 1-2-3 keto system, or even $97, which is less than the cost of a month of personal training. And why instead, when you say yes to the 1-2-3 keto system today and make the commitment to transform your health and your life, the team at Keto Essentials has agreed to provide you with exclusive access to the complete 1-2-3 keto system for just $47. To claim this major discount, and I think we might even do like a test different prices like $27. Test 27 and 37 as well, and maybe even, actually what I'm said, 24. To claim this major discount, just click the button you see below the video right now. After you hit the add to cart button, you'll be taken to the Keto Essentials secure checkout page. From there, just enter your basic order details, and the moment you're finished, you have instant access to the entire 1-2-3 keto system through the special members only area. For that members only area, every single piece of the 1-2-3 keto system is available in a beautifully designed digital format, so you can view every piece of the system on your smartphone, tablet, or computer. Plus, you can also print out as many copies as you'd like to and share the 1-2-3 keto system with your family and friends. This means that just within 2 minutes from now, you can already be beating your cravings and dropping 5 to 10 pounds in your first week with the fail-proof Keto Quick Start Guide. You continue to burn pound per pound as you eat foods you actually crave thanks to the 30-day keto success plan, and feeling filled with confidence because you're going to thrive in ketosis anywhere you go, even if you eat out every single night for a week, thanks to the Staying Keto on the Go guide. All right, which part of the 1-2-3 keto system you're most looking forward to? It only makes sense for you to click the add to cart button and get started today. And then I should also tell you that for a limited time only, all orders of the 1-2-3 keto system also come with 2 special bonuses. Combined, these bonuses are worth $94, but they're yours today for free. I have a limited time only. Debating if I want to add more scarcity, that's like I'm thinking about in my head. The first bonus is called the Keto Safe Food Sheets Guide. It's a $47 value. Hear Laura singing in the background. I could keep the bonuses. I could cut copy here. So okay. I mean, it's like really worth it. That's why I found out. Because my thought process is I've sold them enough that the bonuses are just whatever. Both these bonuses are only available for a limited time, however, so click the button you see beneath this video right now and get immediate access to the 123 Keto System Plus bonuses, a combined retail value of $291 for just $47. Now, in addition to your 2 free bonuses today, show some of your investment in the 123 Keto System also comes with a 90-day 100% money-back guarantee. Hi! And here's why. If you're still on the fence about this, I totally get it, because just like you, I've seen a lot of mediocre keto programs and guys online. Got my daughter here again. Hi! And I know how frustrating and disappointing it feels to be let down. Here's the thing though, I know without a shadow of a doubt that the 123 Keto System will be different from anything you've ever seen before. The 123 Keto System is so easy to follow, makes it so easy to start burning fat on day one, shows exactly how to get into ketosis rapidly without suffering from cravings or withdrawals, and it makes staying in ketosis for the long run so effortless that I'm positive you're going to love the system. But if you feel differently than I do for any reason, or if you don't love your experience with the 123 Keto System, simply call or email Keto Essentials US-based customer service team 24/7 and they'll issue a quick and friendly refund with no questions asked. In other words, if you've got nothing to risk here at all, you can get started with the 123 Keto System today and feel comfortable knowing that you've got a full 3 months to decide if you want to keep it or not. So why wait another minute? Go ahead and jump right in by clicking the button you see below right now and completing your order. You've reached the end of this video and it's time to make a decision. The first option is to leave this page without trying the 123 Keto System. That's absolutely your choice, but I want you to answer this next question honestly. If you don't take action today, what's going to change? No matter whether you've never tried the keto diet before or you're struggling to stay in ketosis at this very moment, you've stuck with me this long because you know something is missing. You realize that no matter what weight loss programs and diets you follow in the past, you simply haven't gotten the results you were so deeply hoping for, and that the definition of insanity is making the same mistakes over and over again. Doesn't it make sense to try something that's simple but proven? Wouldn't it be nice to have an easier, better way of experiencing the keto diet, something that stops your carb and sugar cravings before they happen, that gets you into fat burning ketosis in the next 24 hours, or that gets you in fat burning ketosis in the next 24 hours, that gets you burning fat in the next 24 hours, because every single food you need to stay and thrive in ketosis for the long run. Find yourself nodding your head yes to that last question. On your head, yes. That's what we need to do. So go ahead and make the smarter choice. Click the button you see below right now to get instant access to the 123 Keto System. You'll be covered by that 90-day 100% money back guarantee. In about 2 minutes from now, you'll already be on the way to transform your body and your life. Sincerely, Jen Goodwin. And we've got our FAQs here. Okay. So, you're eating crying. Things are going downhill. All right. So, I'm going to do this. I mean, I feel like now this is good. I'm going to save it as, I'm going to do another version. I'm going to save this, Control Save. And now I'm going to do a save as V2. Now I'm going to try and cut even more. I still don't have the tests in there. I'm aware of that. I'm going to pause this one, especially because I hear you crying for right now. And I'll come back for you guys. Actually, I'm going to stop it and I'm going to come back and do another video just to make sure this one saves.